Nidhi, as you take us through the Pakistani statement, read through what perhaps is not easy to read through, can you also just give us a sense of why the statement and what we're hearing on Twitter from official Pakistani army handles are different?
I'm not going to go into, what the Pakistani army is claiming right now until we get confirmation from our own government. But the Pakistani government issued a statement just a little while ago saying that they have struck back, that they undertook strikes across the LOC from within Pakistani airspace, as they're putting it, saying that this was not a retaliation to what they call Indian belligerence, but that they were targeting non-military targets. We don't know what that means, because in the Indian context it means a terror camp. But Pakistan saying that the sole purpose was for them to be able to demonstrate their right and will and capability for self-defense. They go on to say that they have no intention of escalating this, and that we hope that India gives peace a chance, but that they do retain reciprocal rights to retaliate against those elements that enjoy Indian patronage, as they call it, to carry out acts of terror in Pakistan. This is their accusation. So they're confirming about what has happened this morning. The Indian version of this, though, is very different. We already know that, yes, Pakistani jets violated Indian airspace today. We are awaiting for official confirmation from the Indian government and the Indian Air Force about what happened. But as I said, there will be a lot of claims and counterclaims, and I think before we sort of go on air with any of those, let's wait to hear from the Indian government on what exactly has happened.
All right, but Nidhi, if you could just take us through some of the background that Pakistan's diatribe that came up after what we did yesterday. Can you take us through how perhaps that is in line with what Pakistan said and what Imran Khan has been saying all this while?
Well, I mean, I think the sense in the Indian government was, at least until this morning, at least until last night, that this would not, escalate. I think they felt that the response by the Pakistanis was very confused. Initially, they denied that India had carried out any strike. Then they admitted that it had been carried out, but that no damage had been done. It's very clear, however, that this morning's events do mark an escalation, and we'll have to wait and see whether this now, marks the end of it, or whether we're going to see more. This is really something that requires cooler heads to step in. I think the Indian assessment was that perhaps this would not escalate beyond the point that India certainly is not interested in an escalation, which is what Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj also said at the India-Russia-China trilateral in Beijing this morning. And we, of course, did hear Imran Khan getting very badly attacked by members of parliament from his country in the National Assembly yesterday. There's a joint session of the Pakistan parliament tomorrow. So there's a lot of domestic pressure on Imran Khan as well, because this is, at the end of the day, a huge embarrassment that Indian jets were able to go into Pakistani territory, not just POK, and fire, at the Jaish camp in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa in Balakot. So I think there's been a lot of domestic pressure on that side. I think now, I think the phone lines would be working diplomatically from key countries, the Americans, certainly the Saudis, the Chinese, the Russians. Sushma Swaraj also meeting the Russian foreign minister right now in China. And I think there would be certainly a lot of pressure on both sides to show restraint, which has come out in many of the public statements as well since yesterday.